Hello, it is Saturday the 26th of August 2017 and welcome to the 17th in my video blog series. My name is Councillor Graham Campbell and I'm the Conservative Councillor for Avondale and Stonehouse. That is South Lanarkshire Council, Ward number 5. So this weekend in Strathaven is the annual Balloon Festival. So I thought for my cover picture this week I would find a very nice picture from a previous Balloon Festival. It is another one of the fantastic events that happens in Strathaven each year, and it certainly makes me proud to be part of this wonderful community here in Avondale. So South Lanarkshire Council is starting to come back after the recess, and therefore since the elections in May we're starting to see a brand new committee cycle come together. So there's not been an awful lot to report in the council world since we last spoke at the end of June. But you will start to see a lot more happening in South Lanarkshire Council even, as the committee structure starts up again. And in fact, this week we have the executive committee coming up, and there are a lot of quite interesting topics to discuss at that committee. Quite a few things I'm not happy about that are coming in front of that committee. But you know what, I'm going to give the new council a little bit of leeway and a chance to sort themselves out because it really hasn't been long since the election, and there is a lot to change from the bad Labour days of the past. So over the summer, the vast majority of constituents that contacted me over the last 2 to 3 months have been asking about the MIR, or the Main Issues Report. Hence the title of this week's video blog. So what is the MIR, or the Main Issues Report? Well, a lot of you will have heard of the Local Development Plan, which is a legislative process that South Lanarkshire Council, along with all 32 local authorities in Scotland, begin a process each 5 years by going out and asking developers what land they would like to develop on. I want to make it clear right now, folks, the MIR process is not a planning process. I've had numerous constituents contact me over the last 3 months, very concerned about the building and new plans coming into Strathaven. As it sits right now, there is only one other new planning application coming into Strathaven, and that is the Stuart Millen application, which is at pre-planning stage. And the public consultation process actually is this Monday, the 28th of August, from noon until I think it's 7 or 8 o'clock at the Barry Shelter in Strathaven. But as it sits right now, the Main Issues Report is simply a consultation document that the council has asked developers to put forward ideas and land that they would like to develop on across, in fact, the whole of South Lanarkshire. And for me, most of you know that I'm absolutely 100% in favour of Stonehouse developing at quite a large rate, simply because I think Stonehouse will improve through private sector development. But Strathaven is a different subject altogether. When I moved to Strathaven 12 years ago, I was aware that the town had plans to grow by up to 40%. And therefore, folks, it really shouldn't be a surprise to anyone out there to see that Strathaven is beginning to grow at quite a large rate. Right now we have developments at Strathaven West with Calla, Stuart Millen and Robertson, and at East Overton with the Barrett, and I believe one other developer on that site on Glassford Road. So when you add Strathaven West and East Overton together, the current planning sees around 800-ish new homes being built in the Strathaven area. And some of you may think that is far too much. I've heard some varying stories about the schools not being able to cope, the roads not being able to cope, the power, the utilities not being able to cope. So I'd like to use this vlog to cover some of the issues as I see it, as one of the 3 Avondale elected members. First of all, I accept that there is a potential challenge regarding the roads, which I'll come back to later. But over the next number of months we will see Scottish Power and Scottish Water increase capacity into Strathaven, and quite frankly the primary schools are simply not an issue right now. We have plenty of capacity in the three main schools in Strathaven. Strathaven Academy, yep, that will remain a challenge as the school reaches capacity, but right now there are nearly 150 students on placement in Strathaven Academy. As the school reaches capacity, we will simply stop accepting any new placement requests, and that includes St Patrick's Primary School and areas outside Strathaven like Stonehouse, Lesmahago, etc., where pupils have been sent to and in fact are adding to the great curriculum that is delivered by that school right now. And it's a very good point I'd like to make, folks. Strathaven Academy has benefited over the years from placement students coming in from Stonehouse and surrounding areas. It has allowed us as the South Lanarkshire Council to deliver more teachers, and with more teachers becomes a wider variety of courses being delivered by the school. So Strathaven Academy has benefited from the placement students over the last 5-6+ years, but as Strathaven grows, I think we all have to accept that Strathaven Academy will not be able to potentially in the future take in as many placement students. So what do I want to see from the MIR, or the local plan in the Strathaven area, over the current consultation period? Well, quite simply, folks, I have requested a meeting with senior directors within South Lanarkshire Council, along with Isabel Dorman and Councillor Margaret Cooper. I've asked for the other two councillors to support me in what I'm looking to try and achieve. I think Strathaven is taking way more than its fair share of developments right now, and I'm asking that South Lanarkshire Council stop taking any future plans in Strathaven until the current sites are developed. We stop, we take a breath, and we see what is happening in Strathaven as a result of the new houses and new families coming into the town. I do think we have to accept that traffic in Strathaven is becoming a real issue, and bringing in another circa 800 houses is probably going to bring in another 600 to 800 vehicles and vehicle movements every day into the Strathaven area. Right now I don't believe the Strathaven roads can cope with three sites being developed simultaneously. We're seeing multiple road closures at the same time, and in previous blogs I have confirmed my particular opinions of the poor quality of workmanship that has gone on from the developer so far, and therefore the multiple returns that subcontractors are having to make to our roads to reinstate them back into a proper order. So again, it adds to my challenge and the challenge of Strathaven right now, where we would like to see, or certainly I would like to see, the council say no, or a halt to future planning application for new developments in Strathaven until we see the current three sites developed, until we see the outcome of the number of new families with students and cars and everything that they bring to our community being reviewed, looked at, and then we can look at creating a plan moving forward. That also brings me to the point of a master plan. Right now in Strathaven there is no master plan, and I have to say that I think South Lanarkshire Council has been delinquent in this particular area. I think the town needs a master plan. We need to look at a plan going forward over the next 10 to 20 years in Strathaven. How do we, the people of Strathaven, want the town to grow over the next 20-25 years? Where do we want it to grow, and in what sort of dynamics do we see the town developing over the next decade or the next quarter of a century? I've said plenty of times that I want to see more affordable and social housing being built in Strathaven. I'm sure I will produce another vlog on that over the next couple of months as the local housing strategy develops in South Lanarkshire Council. But simply right now, I believe Strathaven is taking way more than its fair share of new houses, and the simultaneous developments are having an enormous adverse effect to our town right now, and in the main that is an adverse effect on our roads. So in conclusion, folks, that is really about it for me at the moment. I will report back to you via my Facebook page and future vlogs on how successful or not I am I have asked my two councillor colleagues here in Avondale to work with me on the particular issues surrounding Strathaven. I'll also come back to Stonehouse because in the future blog, because Stonehouse is a completely different issue altogether. I do believe Stonehouse does need to grow significantly, bringing in new money to the town and potentially a new secondary school, because as I've said, Strathaven Academy is reaching capacity at the moment, and as we take fewer placement students into Strathaven Academy, we have to look, or I believe certainly we have to look at the provision of secondary education for the Stonehouse area. For those wishing to contact me, you can use the usual places. If you go to my Councillor Graham Campbell Facebook page, you can message me there. You can also email me at the council account, and I also have launched my new website with plenty of contact information, and that is simply www.grahamcampbell.co.uk. I would, however, like to warn any of you that try to private message me on Facebook, on my personal Facebook account. Your messages are not getting through due to my security settings. If you want to private message me on Facebook, go to my Councillor Graham Campbell Facebook page, and anyone can message me there without any security restrictions. So thank you for watching. My name is Councillor Graham Campbell, and it is a pleasure to represent the great community of Avondale and Stonehouse right here in South Lanarkshire.